Clip 1. Hello, I'm Braden, and along with my colleague Andy, I will show you the rich, dynamic culture that Cuba has to offer. With a low price of $310 round trip, in about 8 hours you can land in Havana, Cuba. The approximate distance from PDX to Havana, Cuba is about 2,700 miles. Havana, Cuba is the capital of Cuba. It is only 1,228 miles south from the most populated city in Florida, Miami. If you want to be exact, however, Havana's coordinates are negative 82.36794 east, 23.08 north. To the east of Cuba you have the North Atlantic Ocean, to the southwest you have the Caribbean Sea, and to the northwest you have the Gulf of Mexico. This offers a diverse array of animal and sea life to discover. Now, let's talk about what runs Cuba, the economy. The main agriculture exports include sugar, tobacco, citrus fruits, coffee beans, rice, potatoes, beans, and livestock. The most prominent industrial part of Cuba consists of the service industry. Cuba's economy is a planned economy. This economy is mainly run by the government, with 28% of the other economy run by private business. 72% is run by public business, and business run by state government. The private business has been growing substantially though. In 1981 the ratio was 91% public to just 9% private. Investments are restricted and must be approved by the government. In 2012, it was found that the GDP was growing by 3%, and the public debt was 35% of the GDP. Cubans receive free healthcare, education, and food subsidies. The currency in Cuba is the Cuban peso, which is equivalent to the American dollar. Housing and transportation costs in Cuba remain very low, which makes housing very cheap and easy to afford.
Hi, I'm Andy. I'm here to help you learn about the beautiful country that is Cuba. 2 words to describe the Cuban society are strong and hopeful. Not only in the patriotism, they are also strong in their faith. Solving their own problems have been the most common things that they force themselves to do. Doing low-income jobs just to try to feed their children, and in order to survive in the society. Their passion for Cuba is incredible. You can see several flags hanging on their doors and windows. Also, given those positive attitudes to an impact to the society and the country. Cubans are strong in their faith to religious sense. Religion is everywhere, whether it is a person walking down the street in old white clothes or it is in the churches scattered throughout the city. Cubans clearly have faith in each other and show this trust in each other. Due to the lack of natural resources, Cubans live in a poor economy, but this doesn't affect their attitude towards the future. They are always trying to make the best out of themselves. Cuba is a large island in the Caribbean Sea. High mountains and rolling hills cover by 1/3 of Cuba. The other 2/3 of the island are lowland plains used mainly for farming. In several locations around this country, unique species of plants and animals have evolved, forming an interesting ecosystem around it. One of the main attractions that Cuba has is Martin Inferno Cave. It is the largest stalagmite that is up to 67.5 meters tall and more than 50 km long. For those who love history and would like to find out what makes Cubans proud, the Museo Jose Marti is the must-see landmark of the country. It is situated in the city, the house where the well-known Cuban author and national hero was born. Was built in the 19th century. Cuba is one of the best countries when it comes to baseball in the whole world. Not like other Latin American countries which prefer soccer. Most of the Cuban families speak Spanish, and compared to the United States, that's about it. There's nothing much different than it. The one main environmental concern in Cuba is the water line and the water hassles. People have been using water contaminated with agricultural, industrial, and urban wastes are dumped into the sea. Also, the government provides drinking water to the citizens because of the lack of rain causing the shortage of water. From one of our resources, 42 people died in Cuba in 2012 from digestive diseases. According to data reported by public health authorities, the Minister of Science, Technology and Environment, and the Water Resources Institute at the last session of Cuba's National Assembly. The contamination is affecting millions of people.
Alright. The climate in Cuba is split up into regions. The mountainous region being relatively dry and arid, and the rest of the island is a tropic region. Cuba's overall climate is classified as a tropical savanna by the Köppen climate system. The dry season lasts from around November to April. The rest of the year it is mostly rainy. The hottest month is April, and the coldest month is usually January. The hottest day ever recorded in Cuba was about around 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Cubans, as you may have heard earlier, have strong faith. Spanish is the primary language, so it is no surprise that the main religion is Catholicism. The other religions that are followed in Cuba are Protestant, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Judaism. Religious discrimination has not been a problem in Cuba. All the religions in Cuba coexist harmoniously together and always have. Cuba is the largest island in the Caribbean. But migration and movement is not a big part of Cuba. Since it is an island, it relies mainly on exports, but not much tourism takes place there since the travel ban just got lifted by the United States. That means there is much to discover about Cuba, whether it be its culture or its authentic cuisine. Cuba has many exciting discoveries waiting for you to uncover, all just one plane flight away. Whether it be the mountains or the culture that draws you to the sophisticated country, nothing is boring when it comes to Cuba. Havana, Cuba is the uncovered jewel, the capital of Cuba, which keeps its old feel, while keeping up to date with all the shops, restaurants, and hotels. If you are looking for a great trip, or just a relaxing weekend, Cuba has you covered.